commencement ceremony for the Tunkhannock Area High School class. This is an exceptional group of fine young men and women who no doubt have great things in store. I would like to extend a special recognition this evening to the many people who contributed to this event and to the overnight party scheduled after the ceremony. This group includes the senior class advisor, Colleen Mislevy, as well as the maintenance department and all of the volunteer chaperones and the many community groups and businesses whose generosity make the overnight party possible. Parents, if your student has not yet signed up for that overnight party, we will have a table set up by the cookie tent after, and we absolutely would like to have your student join us even in the last minute. So that is a wonderful opportunity, and it is the intention to keep all of these students safe tonight. So again, I reach out to all of you and thank you very much for your support. And so without further ado, I welcome Dinah D'Amalio to the podium to begin the ceremony. Dinah D'Amalio.
Good evening, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome all the families, faculty, colleagues, and members of the graduating class to the 2019 Tunkhannock Area High School Commencement. Graduation Day is a time to reflect upon yesterday, appreciate today, and anticipate tomorrow. What seems like just moments ago, my fellow classmates and I were taking our first steps into elementary school as intimidated and shy kindergartners. Today, we stand proudly in front of our teachers, administrators, friends, and relatives, hoping we upheld the highest tradition and values at Tunkhannock Area High School. On a day like this, it's appropriate to stand back, take a breath, and recognize how far we have all come. Each and every one of us succeeded through challenging classes and came out on top here in the end. I would like to personally congratulate all of my fellow classmates for making it to this milestone in our lives. I'm confident that bright futures lay ahead of every individual sitting on this field, and I wish you all the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Be bold, be courageous, and be your best selves. At this time, I would like to introduce Sergey Montras to the stage. Sergey is enlisted in the United States Navy and will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps for the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem in the Tunkhannock Area High School alma mater. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, I welcome to the stage our 2019 class president, Levi Westfield.
Good afternoon, teachers, families, and fellow graduates. Thank you for joining the Mechanics class of 2019 to celebrate our commencement. I would like to start by saying this. I am so unbelievably proud to say that I am a member of this graduating class. This is the night of our next chapter starts. For some, that chapter will be going to college. For others, it will be going straight to the workforce, making a living and a name for yourselves right off the bat. For others, the selfish act of joining our armed service was your choice. We would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Please stand to be recognized if you're going to the armed forces. No matter your choice, knowing that following your heart would be a huge part of your next step in life. Now, when I started writing this speech, I really didn't know what I was going to speak about. So I began asking ideas from my family. I had a lot of great ideas, and a lot of people recommended keep this thing short, sweet, and to the point. So let's try. A great recommendation I got was from my cousins, Hope and Faith. They said, talk about fun memories and things you're going to miss in high school. Where do I even start? The inside jokes we have, the small looks the teacher would give us before we were in true trouble, freshman year algebra, asking Miss Stackhouse what her top 10 NBA players of all time are, which she actually made a list, to Dylan Kavanaugh spending the whole class period telling her why she was wrong. To the long bus rides with the lacrosse team and all the shenanigans that went along for the 4 years, our countless band and choir trips ranging from Tennessee to Cleveland all the way to Florida. I'm going to miss walking into Mr. Bevan's on a Monday and him asking, weekend, how was it? I'm going to miss messing up a very small part in a lab in Mr. Neely's physics class and him response, you win the chance to start over. And Mr. Neely, I'll never forget gravity equals 9.8. Our memories are ours to hold and cherish from these 12 years of our life. They will stick with us through the thick and thin, through the good and the bad times. We will be able to look back and smile. I've said it in speeches before, but I fully believe it, and I stand up here. We are not just a class, we are a family. Our time spent in these halls make us a class, but the memories, our fond memories, make us a family. Speaking of family, my wise mother recommended the next topic. She said, no matter what you do, never forget your home and the family you have here. Yes, we have each other, but never replace the ones at home with us. Countless nights going over homework and the finishing the science fair project we had in the wee hours of nights. The ones who drove us from practices to games and cheered as loud as it both. The ones who pushed us to do our best, even though we thought we had no more to give. Parents are home, and no matter where we go, I know that they would want us to remember that. A parent means something different to all of us, whether it be biological or not, a grandparent, an aunt, or an uncle. These people love you with your all hearts. They care for us so dearly, it is something we could have not gotten through our high school years without. Their love burns and flares through us in the accomplishments we have achieved and those yet to achieve. In the work we set to follow after this school, the armed forces are getting right to work. Their pride and love for us will always be a place to return to in our lovely town of Tunkhannock, or wherever we choose to make our home in the coming times. They will always be with us, and I would like to give a moment for the people and our families. Please applause. To lighten the mood slightly, or at least I hope a little, my brothers said they wanted to make sure to please remember to laugh. Coming from them, this meant emote at my expense, but unfortunately, they have a good point. Our times here were great, not denying that, but they were tough. What we are going to do, no matter what the path from this point, will be difficult and possibly as imagined. But remember to laugh. As I said before, a couple of my brothers were aimed at me, but I gave them their dues as time went on. For my sister, it means trying to tell me a story and being so giggly she couldn't get through it. From inside jokes and having late night pizza sessions and later in life and making more memories and laughing. You will be faced with grief, a struggle sometime to the road, or a bump you don't think you can go over. But, as Michael Scott says in the great, utterly amazing show, The Office, society teaches us that having feelings and crying is bad. Well, that's baloney, because grief isn't wrong. There's such a good thing as good grief. Just ask Charlie Brown. Do not let your grief consume you in those times. Find something that makes you smile or giggle or outright laugh and cling to it. Let it be a reminder to you that overcoming your obstacles and those feelings of grief or loneliness will be a lot, but you will make it. And my final thought, a strange roundabout trip spanning different thoughts and emotions, but we are here. Oddly enough, the first person I asked for an opinion to write about was my uncle, and honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to get as an answer. It could range anywhere from a Bible verse to a sports quote. So when he told me this, I wasn't really surprised, just a little out of sorts. However, it became my favorite point to make. He said, write something inspirational and use Sylvester Stallone quotes like Rocky and such. It did not take long for me to find a quote that was my favorite. It ain't how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving. It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. Life will hit us like a ton of bricks. Several tons of bricks. So many bricks, you won't know how many bricks are hitting you. But don't let that be the determining factor. Get hit and get back up. Get knocked out and roll over and get back up. Keep moving your feet and don't let the fire inside of you dwindle or fade. Let it shine in you so bright the world throwing those bricks and those punches, knockouts at you has no choice but to concede defeat. It'll be relentless. It'll feel like you'll never want to get back up and climb onto your feet and try again. It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. Get back up. Show the world that you're capable of moving forward through everything. Your drive, your fire can set the world ablaze. Just get back up. Thank you. With my greatest pleasure, I would like to welcome our class 2019 Salutatorian, Jared Fernandez, to the stage.
Hi. Before we get properly started, I would like to make it clear I am absolutely terrified of public speaking. So I'm sorry if I start shaking or my voice vibrates. Now that I have that understood, I'm also going to start with a few thank yous. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for my existence. I couldn't have done it without you. I'd like to thank the faculty, staff, and administration of the Tunkhannock Area School District for dealing with the class of 2019 for so long. And I would like to thank my classmates for giving me the unforgettable years of high school. I'm sure I'll treasure them in a few months when I'm crying in a college dorm. Okay, speech time. When I began writing this, I wanted to do something different. Then, one day, when I was in the shower, thinking about past arguments and how I could have won them, this idea came to me. I knew by the time of this speech, I'd only be 18 for about 2 months, so I didn't really think I was qualified to give life advice. So I tried to get advice from my classmates, and maybe make a speech out of everyone in it. Sadly, I couldn't get to everyone, and I can't include everyone I got to. Otherwise, the speech would be 10 minutes long, and you'd all hate me. So if you remember me gathering a quote from you, and you don't hear it, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to need to start with the wise advice, because you all really need to hear it. All right. Live your day like it's the last, and love people like it's the last time you'll see them. Liz Ronk. I hope to do this with all my heart, honestly. Now that you graduated, just remember bosses don't usually accept notes from your mother, Abby Mingus. I want to point out if your boss does accept a note from your mom, get a new job. It's okay if you don't get what you want. It's okay if you don't know what you're doing. Just keep going till you're happy. Noah Groover. If there's one thing I want to leave behind here, it's a positive impact on everybody. Dylan Mislevy. I don't have any sassy comments to those last two. I think they speak for themselves. Other pieces of advice, not as lengthy, you may have heard them before. But I still think they're good to hear before we have to adult our way through lives. Go with the flow, Jordana Bach. You have to enjoy the little thing, Daisy Seabird. Never take life too seriously, Kendra Schultz. These are among what I would call the good pieces of advice. From here, things may have gone downhill. Procrastination is key, Levi Westfield. Oh yeah. Don't take advice from me, Alex Kaiser. Consider it done. My name is pronounced Attica. Please get it right. Thank you, Adaka Flores. Well, I tended to ask for a piece of advice. Most of what I got I could almost call Senior Quotes Part 2. I couldn't help myself, so I had to include them. I'll start with a heartfelt one, then I'm going for the gold. I wish everyone luck in their pursuit of happiness, because that seems hard to get. Angelo Antonucci. I couldn't have said that any better, dude. Now let's see what else I got. Now that you're cured of senioritis, I diagnose you with a terminal case of responsibility. Kevin Ward. I want a second opinion. If I were a bird, I'd fly into a ceiling fan. Jasmine Appel. I have several fans, if you're interested. I'm not sad, I'm just crying. Erica O'Hara. Where is she? Is that true? Yeah? I recommend all underclassmen listen to this next one. Take math apps. Chelsea Rolls. Oh yeah. Do it. Finally, the last quote I will include in this section was from the only Mari Bach. Always be careful when you follow the masses, because sometimes the end is silent. I hope you don't speak from an experience, dude. All right. Now comes the time in writing this speech where I realized I had to either make it all come together full circle or end satisfyingly in conclusion. So naturally, I avoided writing this part. Yeah, as long as I could. However, I remembered when I was still collecting quotes that several people had asked me what my quote or piece of advice would be. I told them, as I said earlier, I didn't plan on having my own quote since I'd only be 18 for about 2 weeks when graduation happened. Didn't think my advice was worthwhile. The response I got? Amazing. People told me I was dumb and I was stupid. Thank you, high school. So, due to that, I'm performing a minor take back on my earlier statement. I'm not having a quote. when I saw every person had their own style of life advice, and when I collected quotes from people of every clique, it made me realize just how unique this experience of high school is. This is undoubtedly a monumental part of our lives. To quote myself, "Don't be sad that it's ended, but be happy that it's happened in the first place." As far as I know, this is a beautiful thing. Jared Fernandez. Now, for those of you who aren't sad that this part of our lives is ending, I'm seeing the looks, yes. You want me to get on with this? Yeah. One, you're probably a few steps ahead of Naomi Stroll. She's probably a puddle right about now, crying, you know. Secondly, this is the third to the last sentence. Now that we're graduating, the world is in our hands, classes of 2019. Adventures out there. Thank you. I feel like Sylvester Stallone. Please enjoy the following selections from our band and chorus department.
thank you, Ms. Kasparowski, Mr. Lucky, and all of you musicians. Another round of applause. Thank you. At this time, it is my distinct honor to welcome to the podium the class of 2019 valedictorian, Ryan Zaleski.
Hi, how's it going? Yep. All right, so I'm going to start. Good evening, everyone, family, faculty, Kyle, staff, school board members, and my fellow classmates. To begin, I'd like to sincerely thank our teachers, school faculty, families, and everyone who has supported us on this long journey to graduation. This is hard. Okay, so your impact has changed our lives for the better and will never be forgotten. Thank you. I've been asked numerous times by many different people if I was the valedictorian, and then usually followed by if I was glad to be it. The answers, they would always be yes and then yes, but there was one question that nobody ever asked me. The one question that might have been the most important to ask and even more important to answer. Are the foot-long sandwiches at Subway really 12 inches? Yeah, the answer is no. The entire franchise is just built on a lie. Okay. You are being completely taken advantage of, but that's another story, so I'll move on. The real question was this: was it worth it? Was the title of valedictorian of the class of 2019 really worth the effort? Well, after these 4 long years, the answer that I came to was no. Don't get me wrong, the title is nice to have, but in all honesty, the effort that was put in is not equal to the result. The hours of endless worrying and homework, lost sleep, and missed experiences was not worth this title. Every single night became a battle to get as much sleep as possible because I knew that I would be waking several times before morning to worry about a quiz that I had either tomorrow or next week. Even in the summer, I would wake up with nightmares about taking a test that I was unprepared for. I know, most kids worry about going to school in their underwear. Not me. No, just a test. But in reality, being valedictorian was never the goal. Not once in my entire high school career did I think about beating anyone else. I didn't even know the title existed until the honors banquet at the end of my freshman year. That was when I was told that I was first in the class. And that, my friends, is the day that it all hit the fan. From that day forward, I now had a reputation to uphold. An expectation for myself, from myself and others to retain my rank and GPA. It seemed that no matter who I was speaking to or where I was, the topic of my being top of the class would be brought up. Most of the time, it was the first thing or the only thing brought up. So being the top of the class and getting good grades became my thing, my identity. Others could play football, others were great at music, but my thing was school. I felt that it was expected of me because if I lost my thing, then I would lose who I was. But most importantly, school turned into a chore. I was no longer going just because I wanted to learn new things or better myself. I was there because I needed to maintain my grades. I didn't know it at the time, but the thing that I most enjoyed about school had been taken from me. The freedom to learn without worrying about what number was at the top of every essay, paper, quiz, test. School went from a place of fun and learning to a place of stress and torment. I became so subconsciously obsessed with maintaining my reputation and meeting the expectations that I assumed others had for me that I forgot the reason that I had done so well in the first place was because I loved learning. I had lost something I loved by trying to please other people. So do what makes you happy, because your happiness is what really matters. I might have received this great honor, but I lost so much in the process. Sleep, sanity, nights that would have been spent living my life, hanging out with friends, became hours of sitting in my room alone, doing the same work over and over again. I lost a large portion of my childhood, time that some consider to be the best of their lives, time that I will never get back. Don't be afraid to work for what you want, but make sure that the prize is worth the price that it will cost you. So I guess the real question that you need to ask yourself is the juice worth the squeeze? The torment that I was put through was not worth the title of Valedictorian, but the reason that I had gotten here in the first place wasn't because I wanted to beat everyone else. I just wanted to learn, to become better. And that, my friends, is where the real problem lies. Society today has become so obsessed with competition and beating the other side that we as a whole have forgotten that the most important opponent is ourselves. I got here not by trying to be better than Kendra or Jared, but by trying to be better than myself. You can only be the best that you can be, so don't compare yourself to others. You aren't them. You don't climb a mountain by pushing others down, but by hard work and pulling each other up. If you're always trying to best yourself, one day you will be the best. If your personal growth and benefit is the final goal, then you'll just keep growing and getting better and better until one day you'll be the best. So don't focus on beating other people. Just focus on being better than you once were, and everything else will come with it. Finally, do something because you love it, not because of a title or a reward. I'm here because I wanted to learn and tried my hardest to, not because I wanted to be the valedictorian. If you do something because of a reward, and then you don't get it, then you'll just leave disappointed. Even if you do get it, then what? You might feel achieved for a while, but eventually you'll move on, you'll forget the whole experience, and then it wouldn't matter. But if you do something because you love it, then no matter the outcome, you will have left the experience as an improved and happier person. You will always have the experience and the lessons that it taught with you, and not to mention, you'll have a more fun and less stressful time while doing it. If you do what you love, then the achievements will follow, and both you and the world will become better. For better or for worse, this building and these people have changed us. Over the past 4 years, we have grown as people. We have grown through experiences like Eat the Bananionic and survived Algebra 2. These experiences have turned us into the young adults that are sitting here today. That benefit is far greater than any reward or title that you can get. So now, the title of valedictorian isn't worth the lost time and emotional torment that I put myself through, but the personal growth that I've gained and the benefit that I will provide to others was definitely worth the struggle. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce the class of 2019's faculty keynote speaker, Mrs. Katie Wisnowski.
Good evening. Thank you, Ryan, for that beautiful speech, and the class of 2019 for inviting me to speak. I am truly honored. When I was growing up, I had a curious mind. I asked so many questions that people told me they felt like they were being interviewed for television. I was constantly late because I was caught up in discussion, and I always felt like I was a day behind because I spent so much time trying to understand how life worked. I could easily have been called the Mike Romano of my class. It has been said that what we waste time doing is what makes us interesting and gives meaning to our lives. But more important, it can be what inspires our work in subtle yet powerful ways. If this is true, then Billy Buckley is bound to be the next explorer of lands unknown, trekking the halls of life to casually greet the natives of foreign lands. His years of roaming the halls might actually have prepared him to be the next contestant on Naked and Afraid. While Billy was finding meaning in the halls during his teen years, I found meaning during my high school years by recording mixtapes for people. I enjoyed the idea that people were being made to listen to music, knowing the arrangement was made just for them. I gave mixtapes to everyone. I recorded them for special occasions like summer mixtape, Christmas mixtape. Each one would come with a handwritten playlist and sometimes reasons why the songs were significant. I also drove a hand-me-down 1976 powder blue Cutlass Supreme with matching powder blue seats. It only had AM radio. So, riding in the front was also a large boombox running on batteries to play my mixtapes. Needless to say, I have always been a bit interesting. As I aged, my mother reminded me to seek out individuals who are standing on the outside of the circle and invite them in. She encouraged me to find the person in the room who others might not talk to and ask them how their day was. Katie, she would say, if you have more than enough, never build a wall. Instead, build a longer table to feed more people. And that is how my identity was created, through the passions which made me unique: discussion, performance art, and community. As I reflected back on our time together in 10th grade, I remembered how opposite I thought our identities were the first weeks of school. My morning usually started with Curtis Christ. Without fail, Curtis bounced into my room like Tigger at 7:50. See, I always like a quiet first 10 minutes to get ready for my day, but every day, Curtis would greet me, "Whizno!" So there I was. However, for the rest of the day, for the first 3 weeks, many of you barely talked. Some just stared straight ahead, probably hoping I wouldn't call on you to discuss the beauty of rainbows or why metaphors matter. You wanted realist ideals, and I was the optimist. You wanted to read quietly in groups, and I wanted plays, public speaking, and performance arts. You wanted CNN, I gave you FloCab Fridays. You wanted a scholarly, witty teacher, and instead you had the interesting poet who loved hip-hop and was always ready to snap at your accomplishments or memorable word choices. By October, we had adjusted, and I soon realized we shared a common trait: grit, which is the ability to not give up in the face of adversity. We understand that forces beyond our control can take away everything we value except one thing: our freedom to choose how we will respond to that situation. Many of you have suffered horrible tragedies within your personal lives or go home to struggles every day. You lost parents, siblings, homes, and friends. You struggle with depression, anxiety, and poverty. Many of you need to work not because you want that latest cell phone, but because you need to contribute to your family. However, not once did I ever hear you complain about your circumstances or cry out, "Why me?" As one of my favorite poems, Invictus by William Ernest Henley states, "Your head was bloody, but not bowed, and that is what makes you unique." As one scholar who passed through my classroom said, "Rock bottom taught us things mountaintops never could." You never used your story to limit your possibilities. Life picked a fight with you and you got in that ring. Every day, armed with steel courage, you showed up when it would have been easy to stay in bed. You did not waste your energy being angry at life. As you head into your future, hard times will come again. But the world calls for underdogs, gritty people, people who have failed but continue to rise above and grow. The type of person who puts in those lonely hours to grow their passions, which make their lives interesting and meaningful. Being interesting, see, is a choice. I find it interesting that the wrestling and softball teams were in the high school weight room most mornings at 6:30 a.m. because they were so passionate about their sports. I find it interesting that the robotics team dedicated themselves to practices on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 to 4 and then 6 to 9 during the school week because they believed in their passions. I find it interesting that the band is given their music in June, and you have 1 month to memorize every single note, rhythm, phrase, dynamic, and rest, all on their own, to produce a euphoric 10 minutes of brilliance, as Ashley Rusinkel told me, instead of a chaotic cacophony. And in July, they learn up to 50 different sets they must seamlessly move between, all while playing their instruments. That, too, is passion. Because softball athletes like Haley Farr, Kendra Schultz, and Faith and Hope Jones took the time to inspire 13 young girls, including my daughter, about why softball is interesting. Those girls took that inspiration all the way to the World Series in Portland. Because the 22 band seniors graduating today found music interesting, there are 40 sophomores enrolled in our band program, and next year there are 144 students enrolled in band. The younger generation is watching what makes you interesting. They notice that it is a choice to follow through on the passions which create your identity. What if Tommy Traver took pity on himself when he got hurt and refused to show back up at wrestling? Imagine what would be lost to those younger athletes if he didn't show them true courage. 2019, you are one of the most athletic classes to pack through this school. I think it is because you can see through flaws and find new alternatives. You are also the legendary 87.5 class. You are good at imagining solutions because you had to create your own when there were none. You are the type of creative who, after a full day of classes, can show up in my periodized study hall like Dakota Stone, Blair Drungell, Garrett Hopkins, and Austin Darling, and still muster the imagination to play Shark Tank for 40 minutes straight, in character, pitching new product ideas to one another and then evaluating which product the sharks are going to back. It is risky as seniors to play make-believe. However, like these 4 students in my study hall, the world needs all of you to tap into your passions and create what has not been discovered. We need more of your imagination to set us free from bigotry and bias. We need your creative side to see things that are not yet and name them a reality. We need the type of visionary who is not afraid. People like Neil Ian, Kat Bush, Madeline Cole, Charles Brown, and Rebecca Swigert. Visionaries who will bridge gaps with their designs, art, and language. We need young, creative minds to tap into the power of science, to explore questions of vital importance to human health. People like Spencer Charles, Reagan Kenya, Marina Wells, Charles C. Rolls, and the founding members of Russian Club. The ideas which will change our world are ready in your mind, sleeping behind your eyelids, possibly scared to come to the surface. Imagine the countless inventions swirling around in A.J. Hodges' mind while he sleeps. Or the solutions Katie Joe might be busy daydreaming about. Visions that they might keep to themselves because someone once told them to pay attention instead of asking them to tell the class all the interesting things they might actually be dreaming about. Imagine if 9 years ago I listened to the people who told me my passions were too big and too weird and I was not qualified to create the breaking ground because I did not have a degree in counseling or poetry. Imagine if I wasn't so passionate about asking questions and seeking out people who never really fit in. Imagine if I stopped snapping at beautiful words because students and Mr. Kushki roll their eyes at me. If I sacrificed what makes me interesting, would a life be different? It is also possible that you have persuaded yourself to be afraid of your own interesting ideas because the consequences are frightening, and now you have lost a little bit of your own passion. If this is true, I would like to remind you of 5 tips I keep close to me when my ideas scare me. 1, reflect on what you are most passionate about and why, not what your parents or friends are passionate about. 2, learn how to handle criticism. What you don't know about yourself, what you have to hear from other people will grow you as a person if you let it. 3, seek out community. Being close to people physically who share similar ideas is so important. 4, do the things which are not required. Put in those lonely hours while everyone else is sleeping to grow what makes you unique. It will give you confidence. 5, place empathy at the center, and the moment you have a platform to give back to your community, do so. For the next year, I encourage you to grow what makes you unique. You do not need inspiration. You already have grit. There will be days you don't want to, but imagine if your unique passion, like mine, is conversation or making mixtapes. Maybe for the next 365 days, Annalise Verbeek and Becca Avery will make a pact to have a 5-minute conversation with a different person every day. Imagine all the networks they have just introduced themselves to. Imagine all the doors they have opened simply by being themselves. Imagine if your favorite Dr. Dave Good didn't start his class each day with his daily life lessons. Imagine if he thought it would be too risky to share his stories and insights. Would your life be different? Imagine if Tyler Peterson didn't spend so many hours giving back to his community through farming and caring for animals to develop his leadership abilities. Would he have won so many scholarships? Imagine if Kevin Mercurio lost his passion for his 2 chains. What if he only wore one? What would we call him? Imagine if the Huff twins stopped loving Greek mythology and comics because it wasn't cool anymore. What if they are the next Stan Lee? Imagine if Jade Moores and Megan Swire, who love to cook, are the newest contestants on the next Top Chef. Imagine if Haley Stone and Mackenzie Purdy didn't follow through on their internships at the primary center because they didn't believe they were interesting enough to be teachers. How many children would have missed out? Imagine if Nick Raposa didn't serve your coffee every morning with a smile because he was too embarrassed to put himself back out there after being voted class crush in middle school. And imagine when Carl Anthony accepted his A-level award for the highest advanced score last week if he wasn't wearing his favorite Daisy Dukes and cowboy boots. Would it even be Tunkhannock? After tonight, you will have a diploma in your hands. Go forward and build something unique and meaningful with it. Continue to pick a fight with life. Whenever possible, get as uncomfortable as possible. Spend time with people you deeply disagree with. Read books about experiences you will never have. Travel to places where you don't speak the language and take jobs in industries you've never worked in before. Live your life through questions so that one day you will become the answer. How will you use what makes you unique? What will you create? Will you choose a life of ease or a life of service and adventure? Will you follow your convictions or will you cry under criticism? Will you be a cynic or will you be a builder? Will you belittle others because of what makes them unique or will you be kind? Take the risk, go on adventures, accept that you will fail. Daydream, look at the stars and realize how tiny you are. Get to know people, give them a mixtape. Remember that sunrises are free, own your choices, embrace chaos, live for the music, for the words, for the moments. Pay attention to details, to her smile, to his laugh. Don't expect second chances, but be grateful if you get them. Mentor children, cook meals with grandparents, write down family recipes. Make literature your religion. Don't lose your identity when you fall in love. Do not be guided by the whims of a culture that prizes itself on doing whatever it takes to win or to be right. Instead, pay attention to issues that matter to you. Unite your pack, storm the valley, change the system. Don't take your voice for granted. Learn how to say no. Chase what makes your heart speed up. Everyone is not going to like you. Sometimes people will think your ideas are ridiculous. You should try and prove them wrong. Move forward, push, innovate, continue to cultivate what makes you unique. The world needs your interesting. You are gritty people, armed with steel courage, whose heads may be bloody, but they are unbowed. You are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. You learned at a young age you cannot change what has happened in the past, but you can change where you go from here. But above all, make sure that you can say that you chose your life. You didn't just settle for it. And down the road, when you meet someone who shares a beautiful moment with you, don't forget to snap. Thank you very much. I would now like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Heather McPherson.
That was amazing, Katie, and thank you. So, good evening, and welcome to the 135th commencement of the Tunkhannock Area School District. Prior to making my remarks to the graduates, I want to take a moment to thank the many staff members who make this evening a success. These include our custodial staff, maintenance, and cafeteria staff, as well as our clerical team, our administrators, our technology department, and our teachers. They make it look easy, but I assure you there are hours of planning and preparation that go into this event even before one of these chairs hits the field. I also want to thank the community organizations, staff, and volunteers that will make the all-night party happen at the high school following graduation. This is a hallmark of a community that cares about kids. And if you don't think that that matters, I promised that I would give a shout out to AJ Hodge. So AJ won a scholarship, the Jack Daniels Memorial Scholarship. He didn't need the scholarship because he's going into the Coast Guard. So he made a choice. He donated half of that scholarship back to you for your all-night party. He donated the other half of the scholarship back to the community foundation, the Tiger Foundation for Excellence, which goes back into buying stuff for the school and the kids. AJ, nice job. Lastly, I just want to take a moment to recognize our faculty and staff graduates. They will be moving into the retirement phase of their lives, and they are Deborah Donofsky, who is an art teacher for 35 years. Doris Janisevich, who taught music for 25 years. Mary Claire Thomas, years. Our support staff members who are retiring are Debbie Hallowich, 11 years of service, Michelle Alden, 25 years of service, and Maria, Stevens. I had written it little. All right. So ladies, that's a combined year of 146 years working to impact the lives and well-being of children. I think there can be no better legacy. On behalf of the district and the board, we wish you good health and much enjoyment in your new adventure. So, now I turn my attention to you, the graduates. Congratulations, class of 2019. As it is my custom with each graduating class, I give you an item on the night of graduation, and I ask you to pin it to your robe. In 2018, I gave that class butterflies, and we talked about change. In the class of 2017, I gave them ribbons, and we talked about gifts. So I gave you, tonight, paintbrushes. High school graduation, in many respects, is a rite of passage from childhood to adulthood. And the analogy that I want to draw here tonight is between that of life and art. You, being the artist, and this new phase of your life represented by a huge blank canvas on which you get to create your future, hence the paintbrush. So let's begin. Here's the first thing that I want you to remember, and this is a quote by Danny Kaye. Life is a great big canvas. Throw all the paint you can on it. By virtue of technology, the world is smaller than that of your parents when they graduated. Consequently, your canvas is a lot bigger. So travel, volunteer, challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone, climb a mountain, learn a new language, visit Greenland if you want to. All of these things, these adventures and these experiences expand your universe, and they allow you to make another brushstroke on your canvas. Now, some brushstrokes will be bold and thick, and some fine and slender. Some experiences will inspire bright colors, and others will be represented by darker, more somber tones. All are significant, and all are part of the life that you're creating. The second thing I want you to remember is an artist is not paid for his labor, but for his vision. That's a quote by James Whistler. Think big, think bold, and by all means, color outside of the lines. Life is not a coloring book, it's a canvas. Vincent van Gogh said, "I dream of painting and then I paint what I dream." Do the same thing. Set challenges for yourself, focus daily on those aspirations, and if you make a mistake, paint over it. You are the artist, and this is your masterpiece. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, you are the artist of your life. Do not give that paintbrush to anyone else. Give it to no other person. Do not relinquish it to any substance, any job, any institution, or any belief. And if by chance it happens that you temporarily misplace it, there is no shame in asking for help to take it back and to resume your work. I repeat, you are the artist of your life. Do not give the paintbrush to anyone or anything. Seniors, I'm going to ask you to remain seating, and I'm going to ask everyone else, parents, family members, teachers, staff, and friends to please stand. Seniors, I want you to take a moment and look around. Look around and see all of the people These are all of the people who have loved you and who have helped you to hold that paintbrush to this point. All right. All right. But graduation is a rite of passage, remember? And tonight, you get a fresh canvas and you get a new brush. What follows is the palette of colors that we wish for you. Yellow is the color of sunshine. May you always look up, finding joy, happiness, and hope in its warmth. Pink symbolizes love. May you find it and share it, and may you leave a trail of pink in everybody's life who you touch. Orange is the color of fire. May you find passion and purpose in your relationships, your career, and your spirit. Green symbolizes health and renewal. May you have the wisdom to remember that life is cyclical and that winter is always followed by spring. Red is the color of strength. May you be inspired not to seek power over others, but to be empowered to make good decisions and wise choices. Blue is the color of tranquility and harmony. We wish for you peace, contentment, and fulfillment. Purple represents enlightenment and transformation. Never forget that you possess within you a great capacity to learn and to change. If you don't like how part of the canvas looks, paint over it. Start again. And finally, white. White symbolizes unity and civility. In this decisive and complex world, may you sow and cultivate the seeds of acceptance, tolerance, and respect for one another. Class of 2019, congratulations. The love and support of everyone here tonight goes with you. It's kind of like glitter. You can't get it off even if you try. So, I'm going to quote Dinah, who said, "Be bold, be courageous, be your best self." And in the words of John Wooden, make every day a masterpiece. Congratulations.
Mr. Farr, Tunkhannock Area School Board President, we have 190 young men and women prepared to graduate this evening. By the authority vested in me by the Superintendent of Schools, as granted by our local school board directors, I, Todd Bosher, Tunkhannock Area High School Principal, will certify the students before you have completed all the requirements set forth by the Pennsylvania Department of Education, along with all adopted and approved curriculum of the Tunkhannock Area School District. At this time, we present each student by name to a Tunkhannock Area School Board member to receive their diploma. Philip Farr, President, Region 1. Angelo Antonucci.
Carl R. Anthony.
Asa Munson Atherholt V.
Rebecca Haley Avery.
Marietta A. Bachman.
Stephen Joseph Bognatz.
Zachary James Borgeson.
Charles Samuel Brown.
Glenn Michael Brown.
Leaf David Brown.
William Michael Buckley.
Kathleen Lindsay Bush.
Katie Jo Cadwalder.
Braylee Madison Canfield.
Eliza Ruth Carey.
Spencer Bowen Charles.
Curtis Scott Christ.
McKinnon Joe Clark.
Donald Joseph Cole III.
Caleb B. Cook.
Timothy Hunter Cook.
John Edward Coolbaugh.
Noah David Groover.
Dylan Philip Henning.
Abigail Kaylin Mingus.
Grace Ann Richter.
Lori Bennett, Board Member, Region 1. Brian Robert Bennett.
Eric Emerson Bennett.
Avery Thomas Billings.
Shira Nicole Coolbaugh.
Brittany Cheyenne Cooper.
Jamie Marie Crane.
Haley Marie Cummings.
Thomas F. Danko.
Austin James Darling.
Allie Quinn Davis.
Stacy Ann Davy.
Alexia Ann Diaz.
Caitlin Rose Dillmore.
Blair Reagan Drungell.
Olivia Louise Diamond.
Neil Thomas Eaton. Michael Anthony Everett. Sean Anthony Forte.
Zoe Madison Keller.
Ryan James Kugler.
Zachary W. Rogers.
Shane Willis Sherwood Jr.
Isaiah Daniel Jean Simon.
CJ Wright.
William Widener, Vice President, Region 2. Jordana Jolie Bach.
Erin Janine Dunn.
Dinah K. Demalio.
Tyler Aiden Fox.
Jared Joseph Fernandez.
Michael Dean Figueroa.
Emily Morgan Filer. Alex Ray Finkler.
Abigail Nicole Fisher.
Stephen James Fletcher Gallagher.
Attica Elizabeth Eleanor Flores.
Destiny Renee Forte.
Saida Alexandria Gomez.
Autumn Faith Gatos.
Thomas Michael Giaconda.
Dylan Daniel Goodrich.
Brandon James Goodwin.
Molly Elizabeth Goodwin.
Shannon Kelly Green.
Christian Thomas Harvey.
Sergey Alexander Montross.
Faith Lorraine Jones.
Hope Jessica Jones.
Ashley Nicole Rasenko.
Kendra Renee Schultz.
William Swilly, Board Member, Region 1. Jasmine Raina Appel.
Jacob Wilbur Beeman.
Dylan Patrick Kavanaugh.
Haley Marie Farr.
Levi Daniel Westfield.
Logan Helsel.
Justin Michael Gavick.
Logan John Hedgety.
Joshua James Wortman.
Marcus Webb Newberry.
Grace Elizabeth Harding.
Dustin Allen Henry.
Garrett Robert Hopkins.
Brianna Marie Hobbs.
Jungyang Wang.
Asha Marie Kittle.
Jarrett Michael Jervis.
Hunter B. Johnson.
Jessica Regina Renee Kineski.
Stephen Joseph Lafata.
Haley J. Licata.
Erica Lynn O'Hara.
Edward William Mellon.
Christian Reese Smales.
Austin Healy Southworth.
Nicole Rose Tinna.
John Burke, Treasurer, Region 3. Bailey Daniel Huff.
Brendan Peterson Huff.
Nice. Adam Joshua E. Hodge.
Alexander David Kaiser.
Dylan Michael Mislevy.
Taylor Olivia Lynn.
Reagan Mackenzie Kenya.
Madeline Elizabeth Cole.
Haley Lynn Koitek.
Lauren Jane Hughes.
Jada Marie Lavelle.
Max Lawson Jr.
Benjamin Samuel Levin.
Leah Marie Lepisco.
Erin Aileen Maloney.
Tamara Lee McCrae.
Caitlin Marie McGlynn.
Michael McKinley McIntyre.
Kevin Allen Mercurio.
Jade Star Moores.
Cassidy Marie Mosier.
Samantha Kylie Munson.
Madison Elizabeth Oster.
Brandon Michael Owens.
Joel Guilherme Tone Aldoni.
Enrique Ernesto Caro Paredes.
Alex Jacob Paddock.
Andre Dominic Schweitek.
Shayna Gregory, Board Member, Region 2. Kathleen Cecilia Peters.
Tyler Jack Peterson.
Kendra Marie Pettis.
Hope Elizabeth Perez.
Robert Michael Phillips.
Mackenzie Sierra Purdy.
Isabella Nicole Race.
Connell John Ramage.
Matthew Ray Ramey.
Caitlin Rose Rymiller.
Nicholas Andrew Raposa.
Abigail Margaret Ritz.
Dennis Paul Robinson, Jr.
Michael Aaron Romano.
Elizabeth Lynn Ronca.
Alexandra Maureen Rott.
Jessica Nicole Rott.
Charles C. Grace Rolls.
Amanda Nicole Roxby.
Luke Andrew Russell.
I love Jesus. Jalissa Ann Schoonover.
Jordan Nicole Schwartztraber.
Caroline Daisy Siebert.
Megan Elizabeth Sheridan.
Ethan Paul Sickler.
Jenna Nicole Simmons.
Annalise Ellen Smith.
Dylan James St. Clair.
Holly Arnold, Board Member, Region 3. Jacob Matthew Stevens.
Dakota Ryan Stone.
Haley Marie Stone.
Megan Nicole Straley.
Naomi Kalea Narcissus Stroll.
Rebecca Lisa Swigert.
Megan Lanella Swire.
Mariah Loren Tagg.
Alexia Jean Transu.
Melody Mercedes Traver.
Thomas A. Traver IV.
Jessica Lee Trindle.
Alexis Ray Vandemark.
Annalise Maria Verbeek.
Peyton Andrew Voda.
Kevin Joseph Ward.
Matthew Robert Warpus.
Marina Diane Wells.
Jade Maya Whitney.
Hunter Richard Warnes.
Dakota Renee Wilcox.
Ashley Mackenzie Williams.
Cross Arnold Williams.
Kelsey Renee Wilson.
John Michael Winters.
Wesley Brian Woods.
Ryan William Zaleski. Class of 2019, I invite you to stand. Move your tassel from the right side to the left to symbolize the completion of your journey here at Tunkhannock Area School District. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you the graduates